Boom. Good evening. We're about to start this meeting for special call meeting for July 28th, 2022. Before we do, I'm going to stand for a moment of silence, followed by a pledge of allegiance to our country's flag. Anyone who would like to join me, please feel free to do so. I got the short chair again. There we go. There we go. Get it up to a man size here. That's right. All right, only two items on the agenda tonight. First item on the agenda, discussion and interaction regarding bids for the construction of White House Intermediate School. Motion approved by Mr. Wise, second by Mr. Duncan, or not, Mr. Gregory. Thank you. I'll call you for supper. Any discussion?
Hey, let me tell y'all,
Yes.
you guys know this because you've been here and you followed this, but obviously we've been planning. We had the bond proceeds over at the county that were part of the middle school, Liberty Creek Middle, that we've already bid and approved. It's already gone through the county, and we're already started on that job. This was part of that same bond a couple of years ago, and so we really have two things happening here. We have approval of the bids, and then the second agenda item is a budget amendment. If you remember, we put capital this year in our general purpose budget. When y'all approved the budget and the county approved our budget, there were dollars in there. And you remember when we talked about it at the budget, I said we're going to come back and spend some of those dollars. We're doing this on purpose. We're going to come back and spend some of those dollars when we approve the bids for White House Intermediate. Y'all remember that? That's why we put those dollars in there. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do this project. So that's what's happening here. So we had appropriated $15 million in capital in this year's budget. With this bid, we'll use $19,344,311 from the county. We'll use the residual $9 million to pay for the bid we're approving, as well as the increase in architectural fees. That's what we'll do to make this bid whole. Okay, that's the source of funds.
Thank you, Dr. Phillips. Ms. Hawkins.
Just a point of clarification, just so I'm sure I understand. This is an approval of spending of bond money that is specifically focused, it's specifically for the middle school in White House.
White House Intermediate, yes.
Intermediate.
That's correct.
Right. It's not money that we can allocate in other places. It
That's
has
correct.
to go there.
Has to go there.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Ms. Hawkins. Ms. Andrews.
Yeah, with this bid, what all is included within the bid? Is this just the bid for the construction of the school? I know due to current market and so forth, I know we've kind of had to do things a little bit different, plan a little bit different. There's been some projects where when we approve it, it includes stuff such as like the furniture and whatever other things. This is specifically for
Just
the
construction.
and
Yep.
like I assume like parking lots or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Like
All
just
that stuff.
whatever
So,
the construction
The
part is.
only thing that, and we do all these projects the same way. We purchase the furniture because we don't have to pay taxes and we get state bid and all that sort of stuff. Same way with technology. So there will be expenditures 2 years from now, 2 budget cycles from now. There will be expenditures for all the furniture and then technology that goes in the building.
So we approve this tonight. It then goes to the county for them to approve. What are we shooting for timeline wise of when this building will open?
24, August 24, 2 years.
Okay, so with current,
The-
then will we not need to approve the like furniture and stuff like that ordering not 2 years from now, but like 18 months from
Yeah,
now?
like next year in the budget,
Okay.
I'll appropriate that money out of capital,
so that we have it for
That's
when
right.
this building opens in 2 years.
That's right, because you'll order it
Way in
in the
advance
year
because-
before it opens, that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews. Mr. Daniels?
Yeah, just a quick question. I know they're the low build based on, or the low bid based on the information we've got. What other projects? I know they've done a number of other projects for us, but what are some of the other projects they've worked on for us in the county?
Biskin, yeah, they've done a number. They are the building, finishing the Liberty Creek Elementary and middle school, high school. They are the contractor for the standalone middle school that we just approved, that we're just starting, and then this one. And then they did Beach High renovation, back when we were doing all the renovations. I know they did Beach High and maybe a couple of others. So they've got a long track record. They do a great job, good to work with, always produce a great product, and so I'm happy that they were, bidding on the job.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Ms. Brown?
I want to know how the architect can come back and increase his fee.
So the architecture fee is always based on it's a percentage based on the bid amount. And what they do on the front end is they just set what they believe would be a bid amount, and then that's what is appropriated initially. And then once the bids come in, whatever that contract percentage fee is, it's based on that number, whatever that bid is.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. I just got one quick question too. Some people say, well, why do you build the schools like you build them? It's my understanding that years ago, we created a construction manual on what is to be built, how it's supposed to be built, and that's what we go by, isn't it?
Yeah, and we changed some of that. You remember back several years ago when we went through that process with TSBA and others, there was some policy around that, and a lot of it was outdated, but we changed a good bit of it. But either way, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we build them a certain way for a reason. Like this school will be different because most of our elementary schools for the last 15 years or so are built like Liberty Creek, Portland Gateview. They're the east, what we call the east style. So they have a wing. And we've made modifications to those based on what the principals that have used those buildings have told us. This works well, this doesn't. So every time we build one, we make some changes to it. But it's basically the same footprint. This one will be a little different because it's a 3-4-5 building. So it will be kind of similar, but not exactly the same, just because it's a little bit unique.
Ms. Andrews?
Yeah, I thought of one more question. If you've driven to White House recently, especially if you've gone up to Tiger Springs, you can see that there is a massive amount of growth that's fixing to happen and so forth. I know, we're planning on H.B. Williamson going to K2. This is going to be 3-5, be able to pull the 5th grade out of the middle school, free up room there. Do we feel like that's going to be enough? Like, has this been planned to accommodate what we have currently, we know, plus a good projection of that growth that's coming because White House is exploding?
Yeah, this should take care of White House for a considerable amount of time. You've got those larger developments happening right, they're pretty close in proximity to the high school and HB. This should take care of it for a good time. So.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews. Mr. Daniels?
Yeah, I just had one more question. I know there's been some questions, and I've got a couple of emails lately as well. With Liberty Creek, with the sports center and some other facilities, and some other schools have commented that hey, when Station Camp was built, we didn't have X, Y, and Z. And I know when we first bid on Liberty Creek and we were building that campus, one of the things is that there's some shared facilities. So you've got middle school and high school that are going to be sharing some of those properties. But one of the intentions, and I remember you saying it a couple of times, was when we build schools, we build the whole school. We don't just build parts of it and require the PTO to purchase books and other supplies and field houses. We want to give the students the campus they need when they step on that campus. I would anticipate that we're doing the same thing with both the middle school. Obviously, there's already some facilities there on the Liberty Creek campus, but this bid covers, or the funding for this school will include the library books and everything else that it needs to open, so that students have what they need to start off.
Yeah, since you know, gosh, I don't know, Burris maybe way back, you know, but we've always, since I've been here, we have built schools to be functional the day they open. So parents might want to, over the first year or two, buy other things, but they're not necessary for us to function on day one. So that includes technology, library books, all those kind of things that in the past, like Mr. Daniels is mentioning, maybe we as a school system didn't do, which seemed a little odd to me. High schools are different, you know, and you know, we're trying to set a standard where in the future, if another high school is built, it's going to be built with everything they need to function on day one, to the standard of the time. And like this school, we'll do the same here as we've done with Liberty Creek Elementary, you know, as far as library books and technology and all the things that are necessary to operate on day one.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda, discussion and or action regarding an amendment to the general purpose budget. Is there a motion? Motion approved by Mr. Daniels, second by Mr. Wise. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. That's all on the agenda, and we are adjourned.